Hello, students. On this video, we will cover problems 1357 and 23 on chapter 5.2. And I'm also going to show you a different way to approach these costing problems with basically dimensional analysis in the yield formula. Okay, so we're trying to find the cost of the specific ingredient. Okay, and they're going to give us, in all of these problems, they're going to give us a cost per unit, which we previously calculated those on the previous video and the previous exercises. But I'm going to be using this number as given, and I'm going to show you how to approach this through dimensional analysis. Okay, so I have 1.5 pounds of light brown sugar, and I want to see how much this is going to cost me. So I'm going to start with the 1.5 pounds. And since this is dimensional analysis, okay, I'll have pounds on the bottom, and I'll have cost on the top. Okay, so I'm converting units to cost or units to price. Okay, pounds to price in this case. And the only relationship that I have between pounds and price, in this case, I'm just going to include the price over here in the front since that's how we write price, is the cost per unit that I have here, which is 92 cents per pound. So that means 0.92 cents per 1 pound. Okay, units cancel, pounds cancel. The result is just money, okay, which is the cost of the 1.5 pounds of light brown sugar that I'm using for whatever this recipe is. Okay, I'm gonna do the multiplication here, 1.5 times 0.92. Okay, and the total cost is $1.38. Okay, that's how much I'm paying for, or the cost of the sugar that I'm using in my recipe, which is 1.5 pounds. Okay, it is really important that you check that the number that's given or the quantity that's given does not require to go through the yield. If that's the case, then you have to put it through the yield formula first, and then the result or the AP quantity, you can take it to dimensional analysis and do this conversion to money. Okay, and I say this, light brown sugar, you don't need the yield. You just purchase the sugar as it is. You're not creating this light brown sugar, so I assume the yield is 100% there. Okay, let's go ahead and move to problem 3, which is curry paste. That is 5 ounces that we're using, and the cost, the AP cost per unit, is 70 cents for a 4-ounce can. So my can has a content of 4 ounces, and that whole thing has a price of 70 cents. So let's go ahead and start with 5 ounces, which we're converting. I didn't do the solution map on the previous one. Okay, we are converting this to cost, to money. On the previous one is we are converting the 1.5 pounds to price. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So 5 ounces, and I know that measure analysis requires me to have ounces on the bottom and price on the top. And I do have a conversion that tells money to ounces. And on this case, it says that it is 70 cents per not 1 ounce, but per every 4 ounces. That's what the problem says. Okay, so if you do it this way, you don't have to calculate a cost per unit. But if you want to, you can calculate a cost per unit here. Take the price and divide it by the total number of ounces, and you will get a cost per ounce. You can also use that number on this conversion. Okay, but I see that this is just some extra steps that we don't require to do in all of these problems. Okay, so let's go ahead and find this result. So 5 ounces times 70 cents divided by 4. So the price of the curry paste that I'm using on this recipe is about 88 cents. Okay, 5 times 70 cents, 5 times 0.70 divided by 4. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at 2.5 quarts of sour cream, and the AP cost is $1.79 per pint. Now, on the previous problems, the ingredient has the same unit as the AP cost per unit, okay, that we're given. So the ingredient is 5 ounces and the cost is per ounce. So on this case, the ingredient is quarts and the cost is per pint. Okay, so ultimately we're trying to convert the 2.5 quarts, this quantity, we're trying to convert that to money. Okay, how much that's gonna cost me. So let's see. I'm going to start with 2.5 and I'm going to troubleshoot here, okay? Quartz, so quartz go in the bottom, price goes in the top, but I do not have a conversion from price to quartz. I have a conversion from price to pints, okay? Or a relationship of price to pints. So instead of quartz to price or to money, I'm going to convert quartz to pints first, which is a volume to volume conversion, okay? I know 1 quart is 2 pints. And then at this point, now pints go in the bottom. Let's see if I can convert to cost or to price now. And the answer is yes, because my conversion factor, the one that's given, is price to pints or price per pint. Okay, so in this case, let's go ahead and draw it. My cost is $1.79 per pint or per 1 pint. So in the same problem, I do the conversion and then I do the pricing for my ingredient. Okay, and again, we don't require the yield. This is sour cream. You're not making this. Okay, you just have 100% yield for this ingredient as well. So I'm going to do 2.5 times 2 times $1.79. And it's all divided by 1 divided by 1. So my total price, and why is it price? Quarts cancel, pints cancel, all that's remaining is price. Okay, so my price is $8.95. That's how much my 2.5 quarts of sour cream is costing me. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 7. It says 3 tablespoons of baking soda. I'm going to find how much this is going to cost me in my recipe. So 3 tablespoons, we're converting to price. Okay, 3 tablespoons. Tablespoons on the bottom. If I do price on the top, I do not have a tablespoons to price here. I have a pounds to price or price to pounds. Okay, so that means that I have to go from tablespoons somehow all the way to ounce first. Okay, so that's my goal. And I don't have a tablespoons to pounds conversion. I have a cups to ounces conversion. So that means that my volume has to be cups and my weight has to be ounces. So first thing to do is convert my tablespoons to cups, okay, which is 16 tablespoons per 1 cup. Then I'm going to introduce my cups to ounces, cups on the bottom, ounces on the top. That way they cancel out. 1 cup is 8.4 ounces. And then I'm going to introduce my ounces to pounds, which is 16 to 1. All of those are conversions. It's from the table of conversions. And this is from the book of yields. Okay. So at this point, tablespoons cancel, cups cancel, ounces cancel. And now that I have pounds, this is when I can convert to price. Why is that? Because my price per unit is per pound. Okay, so it says that 1 pound has a price of 63 cents. That's what my cost per unit says on this problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the math. Since everything canceled out at this point, right? Pounds as well. The result's going to be price or money. So let's go ahead and do 3 times 8.4 times 0.63. I'm multiplying all the numbers in the top. And then I'm dividing by 16 and dividing by 16 2 times. So the cost of the baking soda should be 6 cents. That's how much 3 tablespoons of baking soda are costing me according to this cost per pound. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and see a problem where we might need to use a yield or not. Okay, and that's going to be problem 23, really similar to problem 24. Okay, so it is asking what is the total cost or the total recipe cost. Okay, so performing this recipe, which yields 1 quart, is going to cost me how much? Okay, and I have some information. The table here is this information, the list of the ingredients, same as the ones on the top. I have yield percent that I got from the book of yields. I may or may not use this number. Okay, it depends on a lot of situations, how the recipe is written. Okay, one of the being how the recipe is written, one of those. Okay, I'm given an AP cost per unit or per units. In this case, for example, you have the cost per orange, you have the cost per 5 pounds of honey, you have the cost per pound of ginger, and you have the cost per quart of strawberries. Okay, and there's some notes, some conversions from the book of yields, and I know they're from the book of yields because that's a volume to weight conversion that we may or may not use in this problem. Chances are we're going to use those because they're given to us. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing the finding the pricing of all of my ingredients. Okay, let's go ahead and start with oranges right now. Okay, I have 2 oranges. I'm gonna call this 2-ish, and I'm converting to price or to cost. Okay, for the honey will be 1 cup to cost. For the ginger, the third ingredient, that's 2 ounces to cost, and so on and so forth. Okay, now am I gonna use the yield? Do I need to use the yield first for these 2 oranges? And the answer is I'm not gonna use it because this is written by the count. Okay, so that means that the first yield is not going to be used. It's not needed. Okay, we're not gonna use it for honey either because honey you're just gonna purchase the honey, that's 100% yield. Okay, we will use the yield for ginger because it's written by the measurement 2 ounces. And when we peel and chop ginger, we have some waste. Okay, and the same goes for the strawberry. That's 3 pounds of sliced strawberries. We're gonna have some waste. We need to account for that waste through the yield. So for the last two ingredients, we would use the yield. Let's just go ahead and do a yield percent note here that we're gonna use those. Okay, let's go ahead and do the oranges. So we'll start with 2 oranges. So 2-ish. Each go on the bottom, price goes on the top. And at this point, I have the cost per unit that's given to me for oranges. So 50 cents per orange. 50 cents for 1 orange. Okay, oranges cancel. And all I have is price. So 2 times 50 cents, that's a total of $1 in terms of my oranges. Okay, so let me go ahead and write it down here. Orange is $1. We'll go ahead and find the total cost in a bit. Okay, let me clear all of this up. And then let's focus on the honey now. Okay, we're converting 1 cup of honey to price or to money. Okay, we're not using the yield. This is as purchased. Okay, honey has 100% yield because we are not introducing any waste here. So let's go ahead and do the conversion. So 1 cup, cups on the bottom, hopefully price on the top. Well, as it's given here, the price is per unit pound, per 5 pounds. Okay, so I can't convert cups to price right away like in the previous problem. Okay, so first I have to convert cups to pounds. Keep changing the symbols for my pounds. Okay, so once I convert to pounds, I will easily introduce this conversion or this equivalence of pounds to money into my dimensional analysis. Okay, I don't have a number that converts cups to pounds, but I have one that converts cups to ounces. So I can do a 2-step analysis here. So I do cups to ounces first. That's a 1 to 12, according to the book of yields. Then according to my conversions, I can do ounces to pounds, which is a 16 to 1. And now that I convert all the way to pounds, I can convert to money using the cost per unit that's given to me. Okay, and on this case, it says that it is 5 pounds that have a cost of $9.25. Okay, $9.25. We cancel out the cups, we cancel out the ounces, we cancel out the pounds, and the result is just money. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. So I will take my calculator and multiply 12 times 9.25, and I'll go ahead and divide it by 16, and I'll also go ahead and divide it by 5, which are the numbers in the bottom. Total cost for honey is $1.39. Okay, I'll write it down here. $1.38. You can do 38.7 or sorry, 39. 38.7 or 39, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Now let's go ahead and focus on ginger. Go ahead and get rid of all of this. Okay, I have 2 ounces. Okay, but these 2 ounces are EP ounces. I have to convert those to AP ounces first. Why is that? Ingredients written by the measurement. Okay, and I do generate some waste when I'm prepping this material, which is it's like a fruit or vegetable or what you call ginger, that's like a root, right? So let's go ahead and do the yield formula first before we get into any conversions. Okay, it's my yield formula. My percent yield for ginger is 70%. Okay, and my EP quantity from the recipe, that is 2 ounces. So I'm trying to find the AP quantity here, or the AP ounces. Okay, so a quick conversion, quick multiplication there, 2 times 100 divided by 70. Okay, my AP ounces are 2.857 ounces. So instead of using 2 ounces for my calculations, okay, I'm gonna use 2.857 ounces for all of my calculations. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with those conversions. So I'm converting the 2.857 ounces to price. 2.857 ounces. Ounces on the bottom, price on the top, which we can't do because the cost per unit is per pound. So I have to go through pounds first, the 16 to 1, and then I can use the cost per unit. So I have to put pounds on the bottom, price on the top, and then I can use the $2.50 each pound or per 1 pound. So I'll go ahead and take my calculator to find a result of, I'll write it down. Looks like it's for strawberries. I'll go ahead and write it down here. 44, 45 cents. I'll round there, round my number. Okay, so let's go ahead and write it down here. Ginger, 45 cents. We did use the yield here. And then the last but not least, that's strawberries. Let me get rid of mostly everything that we have here. Okay, since we're gonna use the yield for strawberries as well, I'll go ahead and leave the template for the percent yield formula here. Okay, 3 pounds of sliced fresh strawberries. Again, why are we using the yield here? Because this recipe is written by the measurement. Okay, and we do generate some waste when we prep strawberries. Okay, so I'll go ahead and type the yield, 91.9%. Okay, and my EP quantity or my EP pounds is 3. So I have to convert that to AP pounds. How many pounds do I have to purchase? And then I'll go ahead and focus on the pricing. Okay, so 3 times 100 divided by 91.9. AP pounds is 3.26. So this is the number that I'm going to use in all of my calculations. So I'm converting the 3.261 pounds to money. Let's go ahead and start. 3.261 pounds. Pounds go on the bottom. Hopefully money goes on the top, but as I'm seeing the AP cost, I don't convert from pounds to money in terms of strawberries. I go from quarts to money. So those pounds, they have to be converted into quarts somehow. Okay. And since pounds is weight and quarts is volume, I need a conversion from the book of yields, a bridge that converts from volumes to weights. Okay. So it looks like I have to convert first to ounces. Okay, so 16 ounces per pound. Go ahead and move my dimensional analysis a little bit here to the, well, never mind. We can't do that. Let's just keep going. Okay. Ounces on the bottom. Jump into volume cups, and that is using my number from the book of yields, 5.82 per 1 cup. And then now that I am in the volumes, I can convert from cups to quarts. And why am I going to quarts? Because that's the unit that I want to, so that I can use the AP cost per unit. Okay. And cups to quarts, that's 4 cups, 1 quart. Okay, let me just double check my conversion. 4 cups is 1 quart. So we're good there. And then the last step, I'll go ahead and write it down here. Okay, is quarts on the bottom and price on the top, which is using the AP cost per unit. Okay, it says that $5 is the price for 1 quart. Let's go ahead and do the multiplication of everything. So 3.261 times 16 times $5, and then divided by 5.82, and then divided by 4, which are all the numbers in the bottom. My cost or the price of the strawberries will be $11.22. Okay, strawberries. Strawberries, $11.22. So to find the total cost of the recipe, I have to add all of my prices. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add $1 plus $1.39 plus 45 cents plus 11.22 cents for a total cost of $14.06. So this will be the cost of my recipe, the ginger fruit coulis. Okay, so that will be the total cost. And since this yields 1 quart, we can also call this $14.06 per quart. Okay, whichever way you want to use it, because in the following conversions, we might use this number as a cost per, not a cost per unit, but a cost per recipe or a cost per yield. Okay, I'm going to call this $14.06 per quart, since that's the yield of my whole recipe. Okay, so let's see why this is important. Okay, so we want to try to find the cost of half a cup portion. Okay, half a cup portion, use knowing that $14.06 is the price for 1 quart. Okay, the first thing to do is I'm going to take the cups and I convert that to quarts, and then I can introduce the AP cost per recipe or AP cost per unit that I just calculated. Okay, so what half a cup is 0.5 cups that we are converting to price. Okay, so 0.5 cups. Cups to price I can't do because my recipe is written as cost per quart. So I have to do cups to quarts first, which is the conversion that I have already used. 4 cups is 1 quart. And then I can introduce the cost of the recipe, which is $14.06 per 1 quart. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the math. So half a cup times $14.06 divided by 4, number on the bottom. So my cost per half a cup will be $1.76. I'll go ahead and write it down for half a cup. Okay, so if you're selling half cups of this recipe, then that's how much it's going to cost you to produce. Okay. Last will be the cost of a 1 fluid ounce portion. Okay, so it looks like I have 1 fluid ounce, and I'm trying to convert this to money. Okay, I'll go ahead and start doing the conversion. So 1 fluid ounce, I can do fluid ounce to money because my recipe, again, gave me a result of price per quart, or the yield of the recipe is 1 quart. Okay, so that means that I have to convert the fluid ounces to quarts first. And looking at the conversions, it says that 1 quart is 32 fluid ounces. Okay, and then I can use the cost per quart, which is my cost per recipe, $14.06. So let's go ahead and multiply all tops and divide by the bottoms of 14.06 divided by 32, which is the number of fluid ounces in 1 quart. And my price per fluid ounce will be about 44 cents. I'll go ahead and call this per fluid ounce. Okay, per 1 fluid ounce, which was the requirement. Go ahead and let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you guys soon.